We made an Acerglyn a year ago. How is it? Now, if you're curious, what's an Acerglyn? It's a mead made with honey and maple syrup. That's it. The amounts that you use can vary, all that kind of thing. We have a general rule of thumb, 50% of it should come from honey, but even that, you know, it's a rule, right? You know, whatever. Using the fancy glasses today.
We're using these glasses, which are, what are they?
New Orleans.
Thank you. And they're really cool because they're double insulated, so you can hold it however you wish, and the heat from your hand won't actually touch the beverage within. So yay! But
looks like it's floating in the middle.
It does. They're really cool. I like them. They're not as...
I'm afraid of breaking them.
They're not as tulipy.
No, they're not.
As Glencairns are. The mouth is a little wider.
They work. They do the job.
They do the job. And forget the glasses. Let's look at this beverage, shall we? Look at that color. That's just super pretty. It's this glorious amber. I know I say amber a lot.
It's actually quite clear. Like clarity is like a 9.5. It's like awesome.
Real. Yeah.
This is 12%, by the way. So 12% ABV, pretty much in the range of normality for most of the stuff we make.
The aroma is very heady.
It's very caramely maple syrupy.
Yes.
I could probably imagine honey if I think about it. Like, I don't get honey as a distinct thing, but yeah, like I know there's honey in this, so I'm getting honey too. It's definitely honey maple syrup with like a caramely cooked.
Yeah, the cooked notes make me start thinking about French toast, and now I want French toast.
Yeah, how's it feel to want?
Exactly. All right, let's get in there.
My first impression is it's very smooth and velvety. It's rich. It fills the mouth, fills the palate really, really nicely. There's a little bit of a bitterness in the back end, which I usually get from meads, but it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Did we mark? We did not notate what the final gravity of this one was. Oh well, it's all right. It happens.
So a really weird thing happened to me, so I'm going to go back in again to see if it repeats itself.
Definitely getting a maple syrup flavor, a little bit of smokiness to it. The honey character is there. What are you getting?
I think I'm broken.
Why?
The very first entrance, I'm getting almost like a citrus juice.
Mm.
It's not the same viscosity. It's clear and clean and hints of citrusy. Like citrus, yeah, I don't have a fever.
No?
I did smack my head earlier, so maybe I have a mild concussion. Who knows? I'm just joking. But I noticed that right away. I'm like, where is this citrus going? It reminds me of, okay, you go to a fancy hotel and they have the citrus and the fruit and all the stuff in their water to make their water fancy. So it's that kind of citrus note that I'm getting at the beginning. Not a full, like, orange juice, and certainly not lemony.
I get like the slightest hint of a citrus, I guess, if I really think about it. Yeah.
But
it's
then,
not strong.
As soon as my brain focuses on that to think about, oh, what is this? It immediately goes into the more viscous sensation and the caramely, mapley flavor.
It's actually very reminiscent of bacon flavors to me. It's like got like the smoky maple. Yeah. Very reminiscent of that to me. It's actually quite nice. There is a stronger bitter note in this towards the end than I normally... There is a stronger bitter note at the end of this than I normally really like. So it's a little stronger than normal. But the thick mouthfeel and great viscosity really make up for that. I'm not sure if it's bitter or like acidic.
I don't know, it's kind of interesting.
It's really nice. I like it. It's totally unique. Doesn't taste like anything else that we've made.
Yeah, even though flavor-wise it doesn't resemble it, the experience and the travel that I'm going through this beverage and the different flavors that are popping up reminds me of a whiskey, like a scotch in particular.
Yeah, very much like a scotch. Obviously much lower alcohol, but it has a lot of the complexity and layers of a scotch. Yeah, most definitely. I'm impressed. I liked this when it was young, though. It's not overly sweet. I think this was like a 1.010 or so. So it's on the like semi-sweet side of things.
I think, didn't we well, see, this is...
Yeah, we don't do that on purpose.
We don't do that. We don't do that. It's okay.
I don't know that we back sweeten. I think we just let it finish.
But when we were getting ready to test this, Brian's like, oh, I remember this being good. And I didn't say it, but I actually remembered it not being as good. So I'm pleased with it now, and that is giving me more hope for my monster mead, the Acer methaglyn monstrosity.
Acer Acerglyn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's coming up fairly soon, I think, in a couple of months. Anyway, we gotta put a number on this. Somebody was climbing around, so he got picked up. This is Rascal, our youngest. Anyway, our scoring system goes 1 through 10. 1 being probably crap, you'll dump it out, probably don't want that.
I did 10, jazz hands on the wrong one.
You did. 10 being, this is awesome, probably the best thing you've got of all of the stuff that you have, except for those few that we gave 11s to. Someone keeps asking what the 11s were. I don't remember them all. There was like 2 or 3 of them. We'll have to notate that somewhere.
It's a project in my list of projects. I have the list of brews, and now I'm having a list of projects, and they're just growing, and I don't have enough time to conquer either one of them, so I apologize.
5 is squarely in the middle, but 5 is kind of like a breaking point for I would drink this, or I probably wouldn't bother having a drink that day. So that gives you an idea, 1 through 10. So, you ready? Do you have a score?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
6.5.
I was wondering where she was going to go.
I was bouncing all over the place with my numbers, to be honest with you. And I was having a similar thing that Brian was, or at least that he mentioned that one time, where that different sips would react differently. Yeah. And occasionally
Slightly different flavors.
I was getting those citrus notes, and then
some were more bitter, some were more sweet.
Bitter, and then some were like, oh, French toast. And if it was staying more in the French toast with the citrus combo, this would have been a much higher score. But because those bitter things kind of linger on the palate.
Yeah, the bitterness kind of bothers me. It's not overly bitter, but it's more bitter than you might want it to be. I think had we back sweetened this a little bit more, if we didn't back sweeten, adding more sweetness to this really would have made this shine. I really think so. Actually, you know what? I have an experiment.
Oh,
let's try something.
Do.
Oh no. All right, you can do, well, no.
You do yours first, and I do mine.
All right, so we have talked about using artificial sweeteners, and I have actually been experimenting with allulose. For those that don't know, I am diabetic, so I try to avoid extra sweetness when possible. However, I can manage a lot of sugar and things like that, no problem. But I'm trying to lose weight again, so I gotta watch the calories. We have experimented with allulose. Now, there's some rumors and myth about it affecting blood sugars down the line. I've actually tested this for about a week, and I saw none of that with me. So that means allulose is on the table. Erythritol is next, by the way. So what I want to do is add a little bit to this glass. And by a little bit, I'm going to do, that's probably half a teaspoon, okay? Which is like less than half a teaspoon of sugar, because this is only about 2/3 the sweetness of sugar. So this might be really uber sweet, I don't know. It's called an experiment for a reason. Will it dissolve? That's the first part of the experiment.
Will it blend?
Okay, so that's mixed up. Still smells the same.
We both do that. We know the additional sweetness doesn't change the aroma, but we smell it anyway.
Now it's a 10.
Seriously.
Now it's a 10.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm. It's maple syrup and honey. The bitterness is gone. So it just needed that little bit of extra sweetness. Amazing. See, that's why our new system for tasting things, we taste it before we bottle it. That way we're not already stuck.
Yeah.
This, oh my God, if we had tasted this before and I went, yeah, it needs a little bit of something, add a little bit of sweetness to it, and then bottle it, this would have been beautiful. Because, I mean, honestly, this is a 10. I would totally drink this way.
So, what is the takeaway from this? If you are one of our viewers that waits until the 1 year, there you go. Add some sweetness to your Acerglyn, the one that we did.
I may have overreacted with 10, but it's like a 9.5. I mean, it's that good.
it's going to bump that up. It really did just neutralize that bitter note so that the honey, because I'm getting more honey note too now, the honey and the maple can come more forward. And
it's honey.
That's beautiful.
And maple syrup with a little bit of that caramely flavor, beautiful flavors. Still get a touch of the bitterness. I mean, it's still there, but it's more of a balancing effect on the sweetness rather than it takes over the sweetness.
And I know what you're going to say because I read all your comments. You're going to say, well, why didn't you just add maple syrup or why didn't you just add honey? Well, we didn't need more of the flavor of either of those because those were already strongly present. We just needed to bump the sweetness. So in my opinion, adding just the sweetness took care of that bitter note and allowed the flavors that were already inherent in the beverage to shine.
Now, one other thing too, if we had added maple syrup or honey in the beginning before we bottled, then we'd have to pasteurize this. I don't remember if we pasteurized this or not. If you use allulose or erythritol, you don't have to pasteurize. So there's a huge advantage. That's a big reason.
As your brew went to dry.
Yeah, as long as it went dry. If it's not dry, then no, you don't want to bottle it yet. You want to wait till it's done fermenting first. So go ahead. You know you want to do it. Go ahead.
It's way up there. I have to get the big bottle now. Okay, because Brian loves me, he got me the big bottle of Cointreau. So that's what's going in here. Why? Because I was enjoying those citrus notes and I wanted it to pop up a little bit. Plus,
I'm dubious about this.
Brian's addition of the sweetness to his, remember we didn't put any in mine, made it good. So this is sweet and citrusy. Let's see what it does.
I mean, you have enough of it. You're probably not going to care anymore, but I'm not sure about this.
It's a Derricapore.
Yeah. Splash. Well, you're going to mix it up?
For some reason, a metal spoon in these glasses. All right, Cointreau, you can share the spotlight. Just scoot over a little bit. Thank you.
Cointreau is 80 proof, also known as 40% alcohol, so it's pretty strong stuff.
It smells yummy.
Can you say it that way again? It does smell really good. Doesn't smell like Acerglyn anymore. It smells like Cointreau. Tastes like Cointreau. I think you added too much.
I may have added too much. You know what that means. For science.
The idea was to add it as an enhancer, not take over. Not bad. Not my thing.
So, if you like Cointreau, just put a little dash of Cointreau in there.
If you want it to taste like an Acerglyn, just put a little sweetener in it. Since, it says Acerglyn on the bottle. Just so you know. Just had to point that out.
Perfect.
But it's your brew, so you do whatever you want because there are no rules.
That's right. But Acerglyn, would you make it again? Yes.
I think so, yeah. I might even have ways of improving this.
There you go.
But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.